Hello and welcome to Sport Clubs 411. How did we get here? My name is Timothy Collins, or TC, and I am your Senior Coordinator of Recreation, and I have the privilege and honor of overseeing intramural sports and sport clubs. And I will be your host throughout this entire training module. So go ahead, please sit back, relax, kick your shoes off since you're at your own place, huh? And please grab your favorite snack, and I'll take care of the rest. So let's meet the team. We can't start without talking about our coach, the one and only Rick Dawson, who is our Associate Director of Recreation and Leadership Development, which is his photo right there on the right. We've already talked about myself, but once again, Senior Coordinator of Recreation, overseeing intramural sports and sport clubs, Tim Collins, or TC. And then, of course, the one and the only Joshua Mueller, our sport clubs assistants, as well as also office coordinator. So let's meet the other team, our outgoing SEC board. First off, of course, our president, Victoria, goes by Tori Bartondale Duffy. We also have our secretary, the one and only Torin Paya Pereira. We have our treasurer, Mr. Jeffrey Woods. And last but surely not least, our safety officer, Caitlin Shue. Now let's meet the incoming board, our president, Linda Munoz, and our secretary, Emma Borelli. As you can see, we have a vacant position for our treasurer and safety officer. And this is our current, once again, incoming board for the 2021-2022 year. So what are we talking about today, huh? That's a great question. So first, we're going to start off with some sport club history. Then we're going to dive into our mission and values. We're going to talk about the why. Why is why is a transition retreat, transitioning your officers? Why is that important? And then last but not least, talk about some student development and our illustrious association, NERSA, Leaders in Collegiate Recreation. So let's talk about some SEC history, huh? First, before we do that, we got to travel back to 2009 and 2010 when our sport club program was actually a part of AIRS. Yes, you heard that correctly, AIRS. That stands for that's AIRS, and it stands for the Athletic Intramurals Recreational Sports at the time. Once again, 2009 to 2010. Then after that, in 2010, 2011, Rick Dawson, once again, our Associate Director of Recreation, started here at CSUMB and had the opportunity to split AIRS and take over intramurals and recreation sports from athletics. And then right after that, in 2011, 2012, our sport club program and council was created. We also had partnered with Associated Students around that time and was receiving around $10,000 from Associated Students back then. Our executive board looked like our president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, and public relations. And then in 2015, 2016, yes, Tim Collins had the opportunity to join the Sport Clubs program. From there, our e-board then changed president, the VP, our secretary, and public relations combined. We also had a treasurer, and then we added our safety officer. And then in 2009, 2020, our incoming board decided to make the one last change to our executive board and only have the president, secretary, treasurer, and safety officer. So as you can see here, some of the photos that explain some of our beautiful and rich history here at CSUMB. And we can't, once again, we cannot talk about some of the accolades that are part of our sport club program. First, our oldest club in sport clubs. Who do you think? It's women's rugby. Yes. So definitely shout out to women's rugby. In 2016 and from 2016 all the way to 2018. Yes, you heard me correctly. 3 years, our national champions for women's disc golf. We're the national champions, 3-year running. In 2017, the Sport Clubs Council received $5,000 from Materials, Services, and Facilities, our MSFE, to upgrade the Cypress Disc Golf Course. And in 2019, our equestrian club, we had a member who was actually the 2019 National Award recipient for the Intercollegiate Horse Show Association. Shout out once again to Daisy Carnell. So no one does it better with a round of applause than, of course, the one and only The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. So once again, shout out to all those accolades. Shout out to all the clubs who have, once again, got us to where we're at now. And who do we serve? So we like to think of it as student athletes. In 2018 to 2019, we had a 296, real close to almost 300 students actually a part of our sport club program. From there, as you can see, it dwindled a little bit in the next year to 278. But then that one year, this COVID year, this past year, 2020, 2021 year, we had our lowest members of sport club community, which was on 135. We're split into three different tier systems. So tier one is competitive, tier two is our developmental club, and then tier three are recreational. So majority of the traveling and competition lies in our tier ones, our competitive club. Then from there, our developmental clubs are those clubs who are aspiring to eventually be our tier one, and our recreational clubs are clubs who are just love to do their sport, love to do their sport on the campus and inside the walls of CSUNB, not really requiring them to do too much traveling because just once again more of a recreational based kind of club. And our average GPA in the 2019-2020 year was a 3.19. Yeah, you guessed it. We got some smart kids in part of our program, huh? So let's talk about our mission and our values, huh? Shall we? Our mission here for recreation is real simple. CSUB Recreation inspires transformative change, promotes well-being, and is committed to students' growth and success. So let's talk about that real quick. Inspires transformative change. Once again, that means that as soon as you jump onto our campus, as soon as you're a part of CSUB, we like to think of recreation as guide rails and handrails for you as you are traveling through, this community and a part of and creating your journey here at CSUB. Throughout that time, we like to promote well-being, right? So once again, encouraging you to take care of yourself. And what does that look like? And the most important thing here with recreation is we're committed to your students' growth and success. So that means that we're constantly here with you, step by step throughout your entire journey, encouraging you for your own growth and your success. So that's our mission here with the recreation program. Some of the values that we've had that we picked up for sport clubs is we like to think of it as five different values, right? Our servant leadership, we like to think of respect, sportsmanship, integrity, and responsibility. So let's talk about all of them. Servant leadership, that's putting others first in all decisions, serving others while striving to become a better person and a better leader. We like to think of respect as respect for yourself, your teammates, your coach, and your opponents. But more importantly, also respect for the fans, the spectators, and all others associated with the game. And then the most important thing, respect for the game, your craft, right? The sport that you love. And then sportsmanship, reacting positively and correctly regardless of the situation, right? Above reproach, right? In respect of to the letter and the intent of the rules of the game. Integrity, oh, my favorite one right here, developing strong character that includes but goes beyond honesty, right? That's what we're talking about here. We have behavior that's consistent with making right choices. So no lying, cheating, or stealing. That's down the street at a different university, huh? Regardless of the situation. And then responsibility, being accountable for your actions, right? Accountable to yourself, your team, your coach, your family, and once again, this institution, right? So those are our five values that are part of our sport club program. The why, right? Huh? So let's talk about the why. Why are we doing, why do we even talk about officer transition, right? Or why do we even have a transition retreat? That's a great question. So this is what we like to think the why. Why is officer transition very important, right? And this is what we like to think of. We like to think of these three things. It reinforces positive and productive communication between officers and also their group, right? And their club. It provides an opportunity for incoming officers to plan for the future and establish new goals, right? So picking up some of those goals that the outgoing e-board, maybe weren't able to actually, accomplish. So maybe picking up some of those goals, but then also thinking of their own goals and coming up with their own goals for their own goals for their future and for their club. And last but not least, we also think of it as creates an atmosphere where our officers learn to work together effectively, right? When you're creating that club, right, and you always need to pass the baton, right? So the outgoing officers, they have an opportunity to talk about their legacy, what they were able to do for the club, maybe some of their, the setbacks or some of the blind spots they had and gaps, and then they get the opportunity to pass that baton to the incoming officer, right? And in that opportunity, that's where that learning is happening, right? We need to make sure that we are essentially iron sharpens iron, right? So that outgoing board is kind of, coaching that incoming board. That incoming board is asking all those real tough and hard questions to make sure that they have everything that they need to go ahead and prepare themselves for the next year and taking that club to the next level, right? So what's the reason, huh? First off, there is no established system for of officer transition, right? So let's get that out of it. But for officer transition, we think of maintains effective continuity of the group's progress, goals, and growth. So that's why we want to make sure we're transitioning our officers, right? So they can continue to know where our progress is, where the goals are for this club, but then also more importantly, where's the growth? What does this club look like in the next 2 to 4 years, right? Also, it helps ensure the successful transfer of important information, right? So no more passing the club binder, right? It's here's the access to our team folder on Google Drive suite, right? And here's all the information. And this is what we did in year 1, 2, 3, etc. Right? So really having that opportunity to kind of go ahead and educate them on all the important information, right, for this club. And also it helps build upon the achievements of the outgoing executive council or the executive board, right? So once again, when that executive board is leaving, you have the opportunity to go ahead and share, this is what we were able to do, but these are some of the things that we weren't able to do and accomplish. And you could pass it on to that incoming board, and they have the opportunity to, once again, continue to build on top of your legacy. So that's the real reason why why we think officer transition is really important, right? We want to make sure that you really have the opportunity to pass that baton to the next to that next incoming board, right? So our last thing, right? So like I said, it's going to be short and sweet. Our last thing we want to talk about is student development, right? And I want to make sure that you all have an opportunity to know that CSUMB, we are currently a part of an amazing association called NERSA. And NERSA stands for the National Intramurals Recreational Sports Association. So yes, you heard it. CSUMB is an institutional member. So that means you also are a member of NERSA. Some of the great things about NERSA, I have to first start with the graduate assistantship. Once again, I would not be here at CSUMB if there wasn't for a graduate assistantship. I had the opportunity in 2009, after I finished Cal Poly Pomona, I had the opportunity to go ahead and attend Cal State Northridge for free. Yes, you heard that, for free. While they paid for my education as well as also gave me a monthly stipend, I was able to go ahead and work with not only their intramural sports program, but also as their operations coordinator at the time. And it was a 2-year opportunity. And once again, an amazing chance for me to go ahead and develop myself and really prepare myself for this profession. They also have a thing called bluefishjobs.com. This is a resource where you're finding jobs and positions all across the world. We are part of Region 6. Region 6 is there's 6 total regions. We are part of Region 6. That includes also other states like Alaska, we have Washington, we have Oregon, California, Nevada, we have New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, the list goes on. All those states, once again, comprise of our Region 6 that we're a part of. And last but not least, we are also a part of the Northern California. California was split into 2 sections, Northern California and Southern California. Both sections host a workshop each year in the summer that is open for students and professional staff to really learn and really have an opportunity to, network with each other and to kind of share best practices. So before I even go into anything else, let me go ahead and play this video that once again does a really good job on showing detailing out what NERSA really has to offer.
NERSA provides us with an outlet to continue to grow, continue to re-energize at conferences and symposiums through one-on-one conversations. NERSA is what keeps us all strong.
The National Intramural Recreational Sports Association, otherwise known as NERSA, is the leading nationwide resource for recreation professionals and college and university student development, education, and research in collegiate recreational sports. NERSA was founded in 1950 by Dr. William N. Wasson. Having visited black colleges across the U.S. and studying their recreation programs, Dr. Wasson developed the idea of creating a national organization that would serve as a reference, a resource, and meeting of the minds of men and women interested in developing intramural programs. This ultimately led to the meeting of 22 male and female intramural directors from 11 historically black colleges and universities at Dillard University on February 22, 1950. It was at this meeting that the National Intramural Association, later known as NERSA, was created. The mission of the National Intramural Recreational Sports Association is to provide for the education and development of professional and student members and to foster quality recreational programs, facilities, and services for diverse populations. Nearly 60 years after its creation, NERSA has blossomed into a vibrant organization with chapters in different regions and states that lead a whole new generation of recreational sports and higher education professionals into the future. Key elements in the organization are the professional development of both recreation professionals and students. Nationwide and regional conferences are held annually for professionals and students to network, share information, and further their professional skills. Campus recreation professionals have much to gain from involvement in the organization. At conferences, they are able to build relationships with fellow professionals and share information about different campus recreation programs, facilities, and campus cultures.
My name is Christy Nolan. I am the Director of Campus Recreation at Wayne State University. I've been at this position for 6 years, and I've been involved with NERSA for the past 6 years. My first job working in campus recreation was some 20 years ago as an undergrad at Pennsylvania State University working in their natatorium. I was a lifeguard and then the pool manager.
My name is Jovita Scroggin. I'm the Assistant Director of Facilities and Finance at Wayne State University. I've been a member of NERSA since 1999 and got involved when Ren Seibert hired me at Valparaiso University as an undergraduate student. My very first job was to sit at the front and check IDs, just make sure they were Valparaiso University students. That quickly expanded into intramural sport and facility operations, special event planning.
My name is Eric Apia. I'm the Assistant Director of Fitness and Wellness, and I've been involved with NERSA for about 3.5 years.
Being a member of NERSA has helped out a great deal, first and foremost with the networking. Whatever position you have, you can always call on someone who's been there a lot longer than you, or a peer who's starting out just like you are and is having these same difficulties, and so you can kind of bounce ideas off of how did you get over this hump, what's worked for you.
You have a huge resource of people that have already been through it. And it's as easy as calling up someone and saying, hey MLP, I've got to do this new thing and I've never done it before. Do you have any suggestions, any ideas? And they're more than willing to let you know what they've done in the past and how you can make yours better.
I wouldn't have a professional life without NERSA. NERSA has an amazing system in place to train and develop undergraduate students, and there's a great pathway for undergraduate students to become graduate students and then professional students. There was never any question about where to look for a job because NERSA already has the groundwork laid.
Professionals are given the opportunity to interact with student members and act as mentors in guiding student members into what field of campus recreation best suits them. Student members are given the opportunity to interact with professional members and network to gain connections for future positions and graduate assistantships.
It's important to mentor students so that none of the past valuable work that's happened in the NERSA is forgotten. We need to provide continuous training to make sure that we're always building on the past and making the future even brighter.
Older generation leaves and they have to retire and everything, and we have new people to carry on that torch to make other people as excited about campus life as we are. And as they get older, you know, we don't get as excited, so we need that new blood.
So that students, one, know a realistic view of what the profession is like. We have a lot of fun, but we're also very professional at what we do. And until they're immersed in that environment, they don't know. They may have all book work or just working at the rec center as an undergrad. It's a different step going from an undergrad working with students as your peers than being a year or two older than the students and then being a manager in charge of them.
Student members are the lifeblood of the organization, and without them, NERSA cannot continue its tradition of excellence. To further empower student members, NERSA regions across the country host annual Lead On conferences that are planned and attended by student members. At the conferences, students network with fellow students, attend seminars on career building, professional development, and workplace etiquette.
My name is David Dunhams. My major is business management. I'm a facilities intern at the Moore Harris Recreation and Fitness Center on campus of Wayne State University.
My name's Heather Glovich. I've worked for Campus Recreation for about a year, and I've been involved with NERSA since I've worked here. And I'm a personal trainer and a wellness coach.
My name is Jess Darland. I'm in the Masters of Public Administration program here at Wayne State University, so I'm in grad school, and I'm starting a GA position, graduate assistantship.
It's kind of driven me to be more aggressive at school. I kind of didn't know where I wanted to go as far as with business management degree, kind of a jack of all trades degree. But when I got into NERSA, it kind of pushed me forward to get more of the facility side of campus recreation, and hopefully in the future I'll become a professional and bring somebody else along.
I hope in going to conferences in the future that I'll get to meet more people and just learn more about what the different programs, different universities offer. I'm currently doing adventure programming, but I'm interested in seeing how adventure programming works at other universities and how versus how it works here, and being able to make some of those comparisons and learning about campus recreation in other areas.
Meeting a lot of new people, it's a huge networking experience, just learning from others, teaching what you know.
Just being able to meet other people, obviously for someone who's an undergrad looking for a GA position, or a GA looking for a career or starting a career, an opportunity to meet people that can help you advance your career and learn more about campus recreation. I think that's really what's important.
Professional staff is more than helpful, and with their help, graduate professionals' help, you always get a chance to see your field before you actually get there, so you can't put a price tag on that.
One could certainly agree that Dr. Wasson's goal of pooling the minds of campus recreation professionals and students into an irreverent organization has been accomplished. But what has kept the organization alive for 60 spectacular years? Student and professional members attribute NERSA's success to?
It's the community aspect, is that everyone at NERSA is willing to help everyone out. I've been part of other groups, other communities, but this community they're all about helping each other grow and improving campus life.
You're never really left to your own to figure everything out all by yourself. There's always a wealth of information to go to with people, and they're very open and friendly about it. No one's very proprietary about how they view their job or the information they have.
There's a recognition that if there are strong professionals in the field, then the programs across the nation will be strong, which means we're providing an outlet for recreation for thousands and thousands of college students. So there's definitely a desire to make sure that every student on every college campus gets a recreation experience that's beneficial and enjoyable.
Providing opportunities for people that obviously have this similar goal and interest and dedication to come together, network, meet each other, and even help each other advance their program.
It's bridging the gap between students and professionals. It's giving us a chance to see the other side before we actually get there, kind of give us a feel of what to expect once we get to the professional side.
Nearly 60 years after its conception, NERSA continues to perspire in being the leading resource for professional and student development, education, and research in collegiate recreational sports.
So yes, man, NERSA, right? Really, where do you begin? So yeah, definitely one of the things I wanted to make sure that you all had an opportunity to know about NERSA was that, once again, it's really student driven. Student membership is really what continues to keep NERSA going for 60 plus years, right? So I wanted to make sure that you all had the opportunity and knew about NERSA and all the amazing things it has to offer. Once again, conferences that you're able to attend and have an opportunity to link up with the professional staff and kind of, get some information about what they do and why they're a part of NERSA and why they, love being a part of recreation. As you saw in the video, recreation is way larger than our current program we have here, right? So it also has facilities that's a part of recreation, marketing that's a part of recreation, right? Even some programs are large enough where they have their own human resources. So there's definitely a spot for you if you definitely feel, kind of a passion towards recreation. So really wanted to make sure you had an opportunity on hearing about NERSA from, a different lens and being able to see it from a different lens. So we'll go to our next thing, and that's it. That's all. We are done. So thank you all for attending this training. Hopefully you had some fun with it. Hopefully you're able to take some talking points or some real good gems and nuggets away from this. And once again, enjoy the rest of the videos. Take care. Bye-bye.